15 celebs you never knew had normal houses. Not all celebrities live in mansions. Celebrities, they're always doing something to surprise us. This time, it's their houses. Enough with the cribs-worthy mansions. Let's see how the rest of them live. While it may not be as glamorous as living in a mega mansion, some celebrities are naturally thrifty or simply choose not to live in an extravagant home for unspoken reasons. And to be honest, we really admire that. Read on to take a peek at the modest properties these 15 celebs call home. Mark Zuckerberg. Although the Facebook CEO recently purchased a $7 million home, which is still cheap in comparison to his fortune, for years Mark Zuckerberg chose to live in a rented house in an unassuming Palo Alto neighborhood. That was right around the time he became the world's youngest billionaire. Since then, many people have wondered why he chose to rent for so long. It appears sometimes not even tech giants want to deal with mortgage payments and home insurance. Matthew McConaughey. Before Matthew McConaughey got hitched and had kids, he lived in a tiny 2004 Airstream trailer by the beach so he could surf to his heart's content. Of course, like a true celeb, he had it customized. Apart from the surfing, McConaughey told Architectural Digest what he liked about the small space. It's 2 seconds from making your bed to putting your coffee on the stove. Neighbors say the actor was rarely seen with the shirt on. Kesha. The pop singer has a charming Venice Beach bungalow that clocks in at a tiny 1,400 square feet. However, due to her recent court battles and lawyer fees, it's probably a smart move that she hasn't bought a super expensive home. This single-floor, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home is more than enough for one person anyway. And considering how the singer has appeared to slow down on the party front lately, this 1925 home with a beautiful clay roof is probably safe in her hands. Robert Pattinson. The Twilight star and perennial heartthrob once lived in a magnificent LA mansion, which he sold in 2014 to none other than Jim Parsons of The Big Bang Theory. So where did Pattinson go after that? Turns out he traded 4,026 square feet for a modest 1,940 in Hollywood Hills. Selling his mansion for over $6 million, he pocketed a chunk of that and paid $2 million for a modest 2-bedroom. Still, the new home's hacienda-style facade is gorgeous. Jennifer Lawrence. Until 2016, superstar Jennifer Lawrence still lived in her 2-bedroom, 1,400-square-foot starter home, the condo she purchased when she got started in Hollywood in 2006. However, she has sold it in order to move on to bigger and better houses, which is probably understandable since she just topped the highest-paid actress list for the second year in a row. She's moved on to a more lavish $8 million Beverly Hills home with 5 bedrooms. Vincent Kartheiser. Mad Men actor Vincent Kartheiser is well known in Hollywood for living a bohemian lifestyle. While fans know him as greedy Pete Campbell or possibly Angel's son Connor, neighbors and friends know him as a much different person. His former 580-square-foot loft is essentially just one big room. In normal people parlance, we call that a studio apartment. It should be noted, though, that since marrying Gilmore Girls star Alexis Bledel, Kartheiser has traded his humble abode for a massive Brooklyn Heights penthouse. Keira Knightley. Although we're sure it was far from cheap, Keira Knightley's posh London space is just over 2,000 square feet. For a star of her magnitude, that's pretty compact, and the style of her decor feels down to earth, too, like something we'd see in a friend's house. To further endear her to us, in 2014 she told Glamour that she gives herself a $50,000 a year allowance to prevent herself from overspending. She can allow the large paycheck she made appearing in such films as Pirates of the Caribbean, Love Actually, and Atonement to earn interest over time, so she never has to worry about supporting herself when she retires. Christina Ricci. Christina Ricci rose to prominence in the 1990s due to her performances in movies like Mermaids and The Addams Family, but she's all grown up now, and her house is a surprising one. She and her husband recently moved into a 3-story Brooklyn townhouse boasting a mere 2,205 square feet. But before the move, Ricci resided in a humble 2-bedroom Hollywood Hills house for about 10 years. Neither home is especially extravagant for a former child actress. Pete Wentz. As the bassist and primary lyricist of hit boy band Fall Out Boy, as well as the owner of a record label that has signed acts like Gym Class Heroes and Panic at the Disco, Pete Wentz could probably easily afford a much bigger home than the one he currently lives in. He has a modest abode in Studio City, California, which he bought for a reasonable, by Hollywood standards, $1.5 million. Not too shabby. Ellen Pompeo. The Grey's Anatomy star was so sick of spending all her time in a dingy, cramped-on-set trailer that she brought in some help. That's right, she had her home away from home revamped into this amazing space you see above. Now that's a trailer you can be jealous of. Of course, Pompeo also has a home with her husband, but with the amount of time actors and actresses spend on set, it's no wonder this tiny trailer needed a revamp. Hilary Swank. According to Elle Decor, Hilary Swank spent her childhood living in a trailer with her mother, so you would forgive her for going a little crazy and splurging on a home now that she has the cash to do so. But that's not what she's done. Like most New Yorkers, Swank spends her time on the East Coast in a Manhattan apartment, clocking in at only 1,400 square feet. The furniture, though stylish, is also said to have been bought on the cheap. "I feel comforted in smaller spaces," she told Elle Decor. "They're more nurturing." Dave Grohl. The Foo Fighters frontman is such a down-to-earth guy, you can feel it in his music. You'll see it in his choice of house, too. The only extravagant part of Grohl's California home is the studio that he built for himself. Apart from that, it's a standard home, and Grohl credits that to his lack of a degree. That's right, Grohl says his fear of not having a degree to fall back on is what inspired him to make smart money decisions throughout his life, and this certainly falls into that category. Shaquille O'Neal. The retired basketball player has a net worth of $250 million and owns a couple of properties around the country. Yet, he chooses to live in this modest Florida home, which he bought for just $250,000. We assume he didn't have to take out a loan for that modest purchase. He even owns a resort nearby, but it seems he prefers something more comfortable nowadays. However, some people have speculated that this purchase is a gift. Meredith Vieira. Meredith Vieira, the famous journalist, talk show host, and game show host, owns a modest 3-bedroom property in the heart of Los Angeles. She's best known for appearing on The View and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, so it's obvious she could afford something a bit bigger. However, it cost a mere $1.1 million, and despite its small size for someone of her stature, it does have a stunning view of the famous Hollywood sign. Lea Michele. The singer and star of the hit television show Glee is another person on our list who chose to forego a pricey mortgage and ridiculous loans for an affordable but stylish 2-bedroom bungalow in Los Angeles. It's a 1920s home with 1,805 square feet, and it's exactly what we'd expect of this down-to-earth star. And at $1.4 million, it cost far less than the tens of millions the average Hollywood celeb spends on a home.